Welcome to the Global Roundtable, EndPandemics. I'm Steve Galster, the founder of Freeland and the co-chair of EndPandemics campaign, an organizer of today's event. In just a moment, we'll go to Rome to the COVID-19 Commission to meet our other co-hosts and organizers of today's event. But for now, let's set the scene for today's roundtable before we begin the program. Why are we here? Well, the world is still reeling from the negative impacts of COVID-19. There have been over 200 million people inflicted with the virus. Over 4.5 million people have died from it in just 20 months. And economic experts project over $11 trillion in damages and costs from this pandemic worldwide. Furthermore, there are concerns that the variants of the current virus and new viruses could challenge some vaccination programs. So we are asking the question today, how do we move beyond this current mode of constantly reacting to and recovering from COVID-19 spikes and strikes to a point where we're actually focusing on preventing the next pandemic from happening in the first place? Because you'll hear in a few moments from experts that there may be new outbreaks if we don't address the root causes of pandemics, and future ones could be much worse. So we have gathered top experts and global change leaders in this realm to help us answer that question. How do we prevent new pandemics from happening in the first place? And we're going to channel this wisdom to world leaders who are gathering in Rome next month under the G20, the top 20 wealthy countries in the world called G20. So now let's go to Rome to the Vatican COVID-19 Commission to meet our co-hosts. With us today, we have Cardinal Peter Turkson, the prefect of Vatican's Dicastery for the Promotion of Human Integral Development, and Walter Link, the co-founder of United for Regeneration and a member of the Dicastery's Vatican COVID-19 Commission. Walter, over to you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, since we are calling in from around the world, from the media studio of the Vatican's Dicastery for the Promotion of Integral Human Development that Pope Francis created to translate his wide-ranging inspiration into concrete action in societies, economies, and ecosystems. The Vatican COVID-19 Commission, through which we advise the Pope and other Vatican leaders on policy and concrete action initiatives, is part of this dicastery and co-hosts today's proceedings together with EndPandemics United for Regeneration, our media partner, The Independent. In a moment, I will hand the microphone to the dicastery's prefect, Cardinal Peter Turkson, who, like Pope Francis, is one of the outstanding Vatican leaders from the Global South. He will share with us Pope Francis's vision for a holistic understanding of health that within our highly interconnected global system has to include all fundamental needs of people and ecosystems. Before we hear from Cardinal Turkson, let me, however, also say a few words about United for Regeneration, which we co-founded to accelerate the transition to a new economic mainstream that finally integrates economic development and business success with the regeneration of people and nature, without which we can't have healthy societies and healthy economies. Around the world, we invite leaders in business, investment, and other economic stakeholders to co-create a clear vision of the economy that humanity and all forms of life need to survive and to thrive. We can't afford any longer to do business that contradicts regeneration. Regeneration is not a nice philosophical idea. It is an imperative imposed by the unavoidable laws of nature. The good news is that we can build on the regenerative business success of a growing number of companies, which we and others support to implement their visions throughout all business functions. We also invite leaders in the economy to join our pre-competitive and innovation labs and action initiative that advance key issues such as the End Pandemics campaign, which focuses, of course, on the resolving of root causes, not only of COVID-19, but also of the prior 5 pandemics, including HIV and Ebola. 30 years ago, when as a co-owner of an industrial group of companies, I co-founded the first sustainable business alliances across Europe and the Americas, we were warning political and economic leaders of climate change, based on already clear science, including from the Pontifical Academy of Sciences that includes 300 Nobel laureates. The countries and companies that acted on this advice are today among the winners in a decarbonizing economy. Today, we stand at a similar crossroad. We can choose to vigorously act to prevent future pandemics, or we can waste, again, millions of lives and trillions of dollars. Prevention, obviously, is much more humane and much cheaper, and it supports other priorities such as climate change, biodiversity, and sustainable economic development. The choice is once again ours. And I would now have passed the microphone to Cardinal Turkson, but he is just in a very urgent meeting. He's going to join us in a moment, and then we will pass on the word to him. So for now, I pass the word back to Stephen to introduce our first speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter Link. And we'll hear from the Cardinal in just a bit.